been halfway through. It's okay.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to the RUDIS Wrestling Podcast, episode 73. Here today, live in Fargo with our special guest, Isaiah Martínez. Isaiah, what's happening?
Nothing much, man. I'm just I'm here in Fargo for a day for the signing and just watching some wrestling and getting a little training in.
Cool. Yeah, so we're short one guy right now. Ben's was pulled to Starbucks and is stuck in the Starbucks line.
He got delayed getting his caffeine.
Yes. So first thing before we jump into this, right after the live podcast, we're going to be going. You're going to have an autograph session here, right in the RUDIS tent across the street from the Fargo Dome. So if you want to meet Isaiah, get a signed autograph, free autograph poster. Isaiah is going to be here from 11 to 12 signing autographs. So come on over to the tent. Everybody's also been asking about the Fargo shirts that when they're going to get here. The Fargo shirts just arrived yesterday. So everybody, if you need to outfit yourself with the Fargo gear,
I just actually saw them. They look the ones that just say Fargo across them. Those look good.
Really
I like
cool,
the way
right?
those look. Yeah, I need to get a few of those.
Yeah. So we're just gonna catch up here today. What's been going on since Final X?
Well, I've been super busy. So I went on super busy, not in the sense of wrestling, kind of vacationing a little bit in California. I was gone for about a week and a half with my fiance, and I was relaxing in Southern California. And that was fun, but I was on the beach for a few days, and I was ready to lose my mind. To me, I was like, I can only sit on the beach for so long. And so I got back probably a week ago, and then we had the national team camp, the very first one. And I was out in Colorado Springs, and it was a little bit of a weird camp because I think the dates got switched for the previous set. Look who it is.
Oh, look who decided to show up.
Story. Come on, scoot over, bud. Your neck's taking up all the screen size.
That's the point. We're gonna share a mic.
Sure, yeah, that's good. I can enunciate. Sorry for being late, guys. I apologize. You know what? I felt like, you guys remember the movie Kicking and Screaming?
Yes.
So a little more. Where Will Ferrell, he gets this coffee addiction, and he goes in the coffee shop, and then he's like, get out of line. You don't know what to order. This family in front of me, Matt, it took them 7 minutes to make a coffee order. The place only had coffee and toast.
Just straight coffee.
It was coffee, Americano, latte, or toast. That's all you could get. It took them 7 minutes to make the order. I was like, I had to calm down. I had to take deep breaths. I was getting so frustrated. Yes.
So we were just jumping in. We were just getting up to speed after Final X.
Absolutely.
What Isaiah's been up to, just jumping into the first national team camp leading up to the World Championship.
Yeah, I was just talking about how it was a little bit of a strange camp. We had a handful of guys missing because I think we had a handful of guys missing for like the first couple of days because I think they might have switched the dates like last minute, and a lot of guys had like prior arrangements. I didn't, so I was there the entire time, and but everyone started filling in, and they we got that like Team USA feeling all over again.
Nice,
like we had last year. So it was a good start.
So what was the focus of this first game? Usually there's some segmentation, like where they put your areas of priority. What kind of things were
they Bill and the rest of the staff, we do like team meetings every morning, and he goes over plays probably about 5 minutes of clips of like certain positions. I think for this one we focus so much on like chest wrap, like that the defending and scoring there.
Yeah.
That I was like losing my mind because we were doing chest wraps and leg finishes the entire time.
You still can't see me?
Yeah, I'm trying.
All right. Guys, look at how big Isaiah's neck is. I thought I had a big neck. I haven't told him my whole life. I looked at his neck. I was like, what? I think he's got his own zip code. All right, I'll just do this. Here, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, you can see me.
Yeah.
So I guess, I'll ask this question. I only wrestled international very brief time. And I went to a few training camps, but they weren't the way they are now, where literally, I believe, to my understanding, everyone is expected to be there. Is that right? Am I right on that?
Yeah, it's pretty frowned upon if you don't go.
Okay. So in my era, like there was the 2, 3, 4, 5 guy at my weight were not there, right? When it was time, they weren't there.
Really?
And so I always thought like, well, that would be weird still for one of those guys who I kind of see as maybe an enemy, or whatever you want to call it, to help me then prepare to get better. And I always wondered what that would feel like, because I never had to feel that. And then obviously because I quit wrestling, I was never the number 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So I never had to feel it on either side.
Yeah.
I don't know. What does that feel like in the camp? Is there still hostilities, or is it like somehow, some way you forget all about it?
No, you don't forget it. You get like, I guess the best way I describe it is like we spent so much time with each other throughout the summer that the first one, it's like, when you see your opponent, you get that little uneasy feeling in your stomach. But you're around each other so much that you get over it pretty quick. I mean, last year was my first year on the national team.
Okay.
And so, right, it was me and JB, and I was Kyle Dake's training partner.
Okay.
And so I was there the entire time, and you get over those feelings pretty quickly.
Okay.
Especially when they make you wrestle. So you literally have to. You
don't really have a choice. They're like, no, you're going with JB.
I would think that'd be the coach's job, right? To say, listen, this is what's going to happen. Here's who's matched up with who, blah, blah, blah. This is the look we need, whatever it is. Because, as athletes, I mean, I would just, I am different at 35 than I was at, say, 23, 24, 25. And I never got to experience that scenario. So I was always trying to think, what would I have felt like in that scenario? Would I have been comfortable helping the guy above me? Like in 2007, I was the number 4 guy or number 5 guy. They didn't even invite me to it. It wasn't like, hey, come train. It was just like, okay, good job. You took 4th. Good job. And then, I went and did whatever I wanted to do that summer. It wasn't like there was any invitation or any expectation to come to the OTC and help anyone out. And so it's like, I always wondered what the 23 or 24-year-old me would have thought about that situation, because I did, I absolutely viewed those guys as my enemies at that point in time. And it's the same thing where I'm sure if I would have been a college wrestling with them, they would have been close friends. So it's a weird scenario.
I think that's like a real college like mentality, right? Like in the NCAA, like that's like unheard of to be wrestling with another college, right?
Yeah.
That's like your opponent, the guy you wrestle at the national championships or the Big Ten, whatever. And it was a little strange for me to get over at first, but the coaches have so much more control now. Like Bill Zadek and the support staff, they're on top of it. And
I mean, what is it? I've heard, and I would like to hear it in your words. Like I've heard Bill does a really good job of bringing people together.
Yeah, he does.
Forcing them together or bringing them together? Single kumbaya.
Well, I think
circle.
Initially you got to force them together, right? And then you got to bring them together.
There's some study. I'm blanking on I have this other podcast I do where the co-host, if I say like a study, he like knows the name immediately. It's so fantastic because I forget the name. I read about it, but I forget names. There's this one study where if you have to sit and stare into someone else's eyes for like 5 minutes,
you're staring right in my eyes.
No, you have to sit straight there for 5 minutes. I say 5 minutes. There's some like kind of bonding created in just 5 minutes of staring into the other person's eyes. I wish I remember the name of the study right now, but so maybe that's what Bill does. Makes you stare into his eyes.
I mean, maybe it's just like shared adversity kind of builds like camaraderie between. I mean, we're all away from our family, away from home, and like the mission outline is put out there right when we get there. So it's pretty easy to come together, and now we're so much more competitive at the world level with the other power countries that we almost want to come together because we want to win the world championships.
Yeah, I mean it sounds a big cliche, but you're rallying around the country.
Yes,
right.
It makes it a lot easier to come together, and you kind of you don't forget, but you kind of put it aside for in the moment.
Well, it's a double-edged sword too, because maybe think of and listen, I'm not pretending to be an expert on Russia, but the one facility, and I believe it's Vladikavkaz. I mean, when you look at that facility, they have guys wrestling for 13 or 14 countries because they all can't be on Team Russia. And so it's a double-edged sword because you don't want to help Europe. I mean, I'm sure you don't want to say, hey, I want to help JB. My goal is to help him get better, or Kyle Dake, or pick another name. But at the same time, like, you probably can't get a great push from other guys in your wrestling room. Like, they can't really beat you. And so you both need those other guys, but you don't want to help them too much. It's like a weird double-edged sword.
I'm sure it's a little. I'm sure it's a little different this year because the Open's only 4 months away, 5 months away.
Yeah, it's
December.
It's December.
So I mean,
5 months.
Typically, you almost have like a year. So Is it easier or harder knowing that you've got to turn around in a couple months and go back to the Open?
So it's a weird year with the wrapping up for the 2020 Olympics. Everything's happening so much fast. Like I said, they pushed the camps back. They're at the end of each month, and so it's a fast summer, and then it's right into the next season.
Are you going to the World Championships?
I don't know. I don't know if I get selected as someone's training partner. I'll go.
Okay.
But
When do they choose
I guess
that?
that's still.
I don't even know when they choose that.
I don't even know.
You don't even know.
I mean, would there be another possibility of you going with Dake or Dieringer?
I
right?
I honestly have no idea if Dake wins a spot or Dieringer wins a spot. They'll decide that like towards the end of the last camp.
Okay. So you know what might bring this national team together, and I think you got a story for us, is that, and this is as to age. This goes all the way back to when I was there, and I don't know how far before me this goes, but there's this game called Mafia. And everyone loves to play. So listen, I'm 07, 08. That's like 12 years. I can't tell you how far prior to me it goes, but it's been going on nationally for a while. So for those of you who don't know, Mafia is this game. You draw cards no one else can see. It's the Mafia. They're trying to kill the townspeople. The townspeople are trying to kill the Mafia, and someone wins. It's like a role-playing game. And I heard that you got burned last week bad by Kyle Snyder.
It was egregious. What he did to me, like. That's the point of the game, is to be deceptive, but
yes, you gotta be deceptive.
But like, he played so well in the first game because he was a townsperson, which is the townsperson are the good people, the Mafia people are the bad ones, and they kill the people in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And he took control of the first game, and we won. And then in the second game, he took control again, and I was like, "There's no way he could be a Mafia member, right?" And it came to a point where like I looked at him. And like I was messed.
You should have done the 5-minute stare.
No, I did. I basically did. So I like to mess with guys. Like I'll like ask them like really inappropriate questions while we're playing. And I looked at Kyle and I was like really trying to get to him because I started getting a little suspicious of him. And I yelled at him. I'm like, "Are you a man of integrity?" And he looked at me dead in the eyes and it was like, yes.
What?
Yes.
Dude, I think I'm gonna be Kyle through a completely different lens.
Yes,
Kyle is not a man of integrity. You're telling me?
No, he is. No, he is. But he looked at me square in the face and just without even blinking was like, "Yes."
He sold you.
He sold me so hard. And so right when they revealed it, because the Mafia members ended up winning, I was like deeply hurt that he did that. Like I don't know.
Wow.
But those are.
But I mean, okay, listen. That sounds bad, but to Kyle's defense, the whole point of the game is to mislead and deceive. So I'm gonna go. Good job, Kyle. I didn't know he had that in him.
I didn't either.
Wow. Okay.
He didn't play after
that.
So
he is a man of integrity. He had to throw himself in the role, right?
I guess
he had to live up to the role. But that's got to be
that's a bonding game.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
Gotta be cool experiences like when all the national team guys get together.
Well,
do things like that.
Yeah, it's not just the national team guys. We were there with the cadets and juniors, and so.
Oh, they get to play too.
Yeah, they play with us too, and they're a lot more rowdy than we are.
They're probably so scared though. When you look at one of them in the eyes, they're probably like, all right, I'll just whatever you want me to be. Just don't do anything.
Are you a man of integrity?
Don't hurt me.
I'll tell you what. I was. It was Braden Lee. I started yelling at him.
Oh, he's
and
from
he got Minnesota.
Yeah.
He got so defensive. It was the funniest thing. He started jumping up. Mike Machiavello, he's a real mild mannered guy, but when he was playing, he was so out of character. He was jumping up and yelling and being mean to some of these kids.
So who's the best? Who's the best at Mafia?
They never keep official stats.
You know what?
I think they should keep official stats of wins and losses so you know who the best really is over the course of time.
Yianni, I'm sure
everybody's pretty good.
Everybody's claiming.
I'm
the man.
Yianni is pretty good. Vito he inherently looks dubious, so I think he's Mafia.
He looks like he's Mafia.
Yeah,
literally.
It's true.
He's inherently like that. So I was accusing him every time, but he's pretty good. Kyle is really good.
Kyle Dake?
Kyle Snyder. Yeah. And actually, Bo Nickel was pretty good too.
Really?
Yeah.
Bo's wrestling later today. I thought that was 2 days from now, but it's today.
I think it's today. Yeah, this afternoon.
Do you see him being competitive? I don't really think so.
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't be mean on the podcast or anything, but
Who's he got?
Jake Woodley.
From Oklahoma.
I mean, Bo Nickel's very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Isaiah, I know you want to talk a little bit about the Dake Dieringer situation. Who you think's gonna win that? What's your thoughts on that? I know Matt and I feel like we've talked at length about it. I will say I was privy yesterday. I didn't hear every word that was spoken, but I was sitting here.
I think
it
everybody in
happened,
the Fargo Dome.
It happened over there. Well, they saw the body language and stuff, but I heard a lot of the words. John Smith went after Rich Bender. You know, he obviously wasn't happy with the treatment that Kyle's been getting. I wouldn't be happy either. I see it the exact same way he sees it. With Kyle not only getting all the extra time, but then being allowed to also wrestle in Spain. That was sketchy. And so I know the one thing that I think I can say without John getting mad, he said, did freaking Golden State get to push the NBA Finals back? They didn't, did they? I started dying laughing when I heard that. I was trying not to let John see me laughing, but it was a good line.
No, it's a good point. What are you going to wait till these guys get healed up? It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain. Yeah, I just want to get your perspective. Your thought.
I'm so non-committal on this.
Well, okay, you listen. You don't have to. Okay, you don't have to throw.
Pick sides.
We know you like them both or don't like them both. I don't know. We won't ask you.
I definitely do like them both.
Okay, you like them both. You don't have to pick sides, but just talk about. I guess you listen. If you don't even want to talk from both perspectives, if you're Kyle Dake and trying to have your best interest in mind, or if you're Alex Dieringer and you're the challenger, because one of the points we brought up was Kyle Dake was the challenger a few years back, and he was complaining about Burroughs having all the advantages in the process, and now Kyle Dake's in that spot, and he's taking huge advantage of the process. And Dieringer's kind of left like he was getting his weight down, getting ready for Final X Rutgers.
And not only that, not only was he getting his weight down, we were talking about this last night. He's also into his peaking phase. So then he's got to reset the peaking phase and all that.
Man. He looks pretty good right now.
It's Dogu.
I guess
great.
This might relieve a little bit of pressure. Like maybe if you were in this position, how would you view it if you were in this position?
Go from both sides.
I will say this. If Kyle Dake, if he's not at 100%, I think Alex Dieringer will get the edge in the match for sure, because he's constantly improved. He's, he looks so focused and just like almost like he's like, we'll wrestle whenever. I mean, he does. He's not really affected by like wrestling at a later date, but I've talked to him and he's just like, it is what it is. I'm ready. He's like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And so like, to me, that tells me that's dangerous. He seems real hungry.
Yes.
And so if Kyle's not A+ ready to go, I would give the edge to Dieringer. But if he is 100% ready to go, I'm gonna go coin toss, and it's gonna come down. I'm almost positive it's gonna come down to a crotch lift situation off that high crotch.
Yeah, I mean that's the position we talked about.
Yeah,
we did those final videos, and we talked about Alex Dieringer. In the first matches they wrestled, I believe there was 4. He couldn't even get to the position whatsoever. And then I believe it was the third match he finally got there, but he got scored on from there. And then finally in that 4th match, he got there a couple times. One time he scored. And then the last one was that crazy scramble that they got in. I don't even remember if that went 2-2 or if it went just 2 Dake right now. I'm blanking on it.
I can't remember.
I think it was no, it went like 2-1.
2-1, yeah.
So it's like inevitable. I mean, they're going to end up in that situation.
I feel like so. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think whoever can like control that high crotch position or that sit out crosslet position is going to win that match, because that's the key position to me in my mind. I mean, and I trained with Dake all last summer, and that was one of the most frustrating things I ever had to learn how to do, was not get flipped over my head in that sit out position right there, that from that high crotch. And so if Dieringer can figure that out, he's going to be in a good position.
Yeah. The other thing I mentioned that I really liked about the Dogu is Dieringer has just shown he can win different ways. I mean, he can shut you down from a great defensive perspective. He can push, he can control center again like he did against the Iranian. And when I watched the early, again, go back to the early Dake Dieringer matches, Dake controlled center so well. Push him. That's something Kyle Dake does. Kyle Dake tries to control center.
He owns the center.
He owns the center, and he tries to push on. But by the later matches, the 3rd and 4th, specifically the 4th, Dieringer was more able to hold his ground against Kyle Dake, and I think that made a gigantic difference in the way the match was wrestled, because once he could hold center and not be like really worried about that thing, then that kind of opened him up to wrestle how he wanted to wrestle. That's kind of how I felt about it.
What do you think about like the letting him wrestle prior to the actual?
I hated it.
I'm being honest, I wasn't a fan of it either.
Yeah.
I
believe the athletes, there was it was a committee, and then all of the athletes voted it down.
Yeah, I mean, because as an athlete, it's just like that. That's a little more egregious. Like if you're saying you can't wrestle till then, like, but
I mean, that was what I came back with.
That's our system, I guess.
But I mean, the thing that I took offense to is he went. So first of all, he waited a long time till really close to Final X, and then he goes to the committee and says, "I can't wrestle. Here's my doctor, so I can't wrestle until August 17th or whatever." But he had to know in his head, because this is June already. He has to know that, okay, well, I'm going to turn around and ask them to wrestle July 6th. July 6th is only 4 weeks away. Like he's not like on July 4th. He's not like, I guess there's a tournament in Spain I'm going to go to. You know, he thinks about that. So
it seems a lot more calculated than they're making it seem.
Yeah. In a weird way, I kind of respect it almost, because I'm like, that's
it's like mafia.
I respect it. I mean, you know the system, and you're granted that when you're a world championship.
Well,
world champion.
Someone told me, and I have not found this information. Someone told me that when they gave him the exception to push the wrestle off back initially, that they said he cannot compete anywhere else. Like that was specifically in the provision.
That was commonsensical, right?
It seems common sense, yes. Maybe you say, "Hey, I can't wrestle." I mean, the one thing that I guess.
Maybe they knew that before, because I know my position was, I wouldn't have a problem if he said, "Hey, I've been out for a year. I haven't had any competitive matches in the year since the World Championships. I need at least a competition." If he made that request and they granted him, I don't think I would have had a problem with it. But I can also see it's like, no, I mean, we have these rules and these guidelines for a reason. You got to follow them. You can't just, I think that's what's frustrating was the lack of consistency.
I'll give you an easy one. I'll give you an easy one to comment on where you don't have to take any side.
I love the drama.
That's what I
love the drama.
But it's hard for you to take sides because you are going to see these guys and they're going to give you the stink eye. This is like we talk about getting some more women on here to comment about the other women's matches. And, when you're a competitor and you got to see these guys all the time in training camps, people, they can be thin skinned. So here's one that I think this will be easy for you to comment on. One of I do.
Give me a softball.
Okay, I'm going to give you a softball. I think, and you can comment because of training camps, I think that if you're Dake or Dieringer, you can put yourself in either one of those suits. You're going to be focusing on Dake or Dieringer till August 17th. You're not going to be looking ahead to the World Championships. So from a world perspective, now August 18th, whoever the winner is got to say, okay, now I have 2 weeks till I leave to go focus on all my other opponents, where they could have all of July and all of August to think about all these other guys that they get threats to them and focus on a few positions that they do, and then they'll be more well prepared.
Yeah, they're both top 3 wrestlers in the world, though. So if Dake preparing for Dieringer is also preparing for another guy that's easily top 5 in the world.
But everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, right? Or no?
Yeah,
I mean, listen, internationally, 79 kilos better than I know 79 kilos. And if you say they're all similar, then right, there are some weight classes where they all wrestle kind of the same. Everyone uses an underhook and a single leg, and that's what but there's some where, hey, this guy's way unique, and if you can't beat this position that this guy does that's weird, you're going to lose that match. Even though he's not that great, he just has this one great position.
Yeah, I think that comes more into play if a guy's got like a good chest wrap or like a good head pinch. But besides that, it's like, or like a good gut wrench. Like, okay, he's gonna run hard this way and then fake the other way and try like a crash gut or something. Those are more the things you have to worry about. I think for the most part, though, like it's pretty much basic. I mean, it's
so you think it's high level
non-issue. I don't think it's an issue. I think if they're preparing for each other, they're going to be prepared for the world.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I'll just give you an example of myself because unfortunately, I don't study international wrestling. Hopefully, someday AW will have a bunch of international competitors. But like in 2008, when I was preparing, actually, my high school coach was wandering around this RUDIS tent somewhere. He was helping me prepare. But when you looked at I'll give you Satiev, Chamsel Varayev, and Fundora, who were 3 of the better guys, multiple-time medalists. Fundora was really great defensively, and that was who I ended up losing to. And that was what I would say one of my toughest matchups. Whereas Chamsel Varayev and Satiev would take a lot of opportunities. They would let you get in scrambles, and they weren't as sound with the basic fundamentals. And so, looking at those guys from that perspective, it's a way different match that you have to wrestle each one of them.
For sure. I mean, I think you having to wrestle those guys, there's so many more variables in that style of wrestling.
Yeah.
Those guys that scramble, but a lot of top guys at 79 kilos are real just like solid. Basic. Solid, strong, basic wrestlers. I mean, you get your underhooks, your singles, and they don't scramble nearly like the guys that you have to wrestle.
And I guess the other thing is, I mean, there's a lot of familiarity there already.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
this is going to be
'Cause
match
Dake
number
has been,
5,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
they kind of know what areas they need to focus on. They can still keep training and focusing on the world championships, even though nothing's guaranteed for either one of them yet. But they kind of know each other fairly well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really
Okay.
wanted to
Well,
jump
go ahead.
into Isaiah, like talk about your last year. Like, I mean, you looked, and this is a compliment. You look night and day. Like you've jumped several levels
I would say.
in the past year for sure. And what I wanted to get into is like, what was the benefit? Like now you've had a full year just to solely focus on freestyle. How has that been? And where have you seen the biggest areas of your growth and development this year?
Honestly, probably the best thing that ever happened was I graduated school and that didn't have to go to
Nice.
class anymore. Honestly,
Yeah.
that was a huge deal. Like, just with my training schedule and not like it. I did enjoy going to school and stuff, but like that was the number one stress in my life was getting grades and stuff. But I think for me in this past year it was just so much more focus and attention to detail. Right, like I was I was a 4-time finalist, and ever since I stepped into college, I was kind of more towards the top of the rung, and then I went and wrestled JB and found out that there's a whole another level to the game. And when I was faced with like seeing like how much more I have to go, instead of being, I was a little discouraged at first. I kind of changed my attitude, my focus, and it almost encouraged me because I'm like, okay, like when I looked at everything I was doing to be the best wrestler I could be, like there were so many areas that I could have improved, and that I can still improve, right? So I'm still excited, but just lifestyle, sleep patterns, nutrition, really, honestly, probably in my wrestling, the biggest thing that changed in just the wrestling was the sole focus on technical positions, right? Like I used to hate drilling, right? Like so like I still sometimes I mean even we're at the camps and we're doing chest wraps, I'm like, oh my god, after like 30 minutes I'm like, we just need to like spar or something because I am dying out here. But I really put that focus into my offense, like finishing single legs, just motion and working my hands, and just so much attention to those little details that it over a year I just became a better wrestler.
Yeah. I was really impressed with the strategy. I don't know your strategy. Outsider looking in, stalking Jordan to the edge, and then you're just timing when you're dropping down those single legs over and over and over again. Was just it was kind of off his motion. It was just you just kept getting there over and over, and that was just like such a fantastic. I don't know what you call it, sequence setup, whatever you want to call it. But that was part of the strategy, or no?
I mean, not trying to give too much away, but
you got to wrestle every day this summer, right?
I mean, we probably won't wrestle anymore at the spur of the summer, I don't think.
Okay.
It was more about I just like I came up with a strategy on my own. I was like, because I watched so many matches of his, and I was like, if I could take his hand out of if I could take one of his hands out of the action, but not in the way that he's used to. So what I really did was I focused a lot on taking his left hand out of the action, and then once I was able to pull the left hand out, it was a lot easier just to drop and go.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
how much of a benefit was it? Because last year is like, I think I know what I'm getting into when I'm facing this guy.
Yeah.
And then after having a series with him, and then knowing what you're getting into.
I did kind of know it.
Yeah.
I did kind of know in the sense that when he was preparing for the Olympics in 2016, I was like a sophomore in college, right? I was at the OTC for like the first time, and he was like, "Imar, I need you to go simulations with me one of the days," and it was me and Alex Pentelio that were gonna go with them, and I was gonna go the first period, and then Alex was gonna go the second period, and I got so tired. I mean, I was a college kid in the summertime. I was a little out of shape. And I got so tired after those 3 minutes, and I went to go sit down, and he goes, and instead of Alex going up, JB was like, "Imar, we're gonna go again," and I was like,
"Oh, damn it!"
And he kind of put it on me. He put it on me. I mean, it was just a different level at the time. So I did kind of know what I was.
I mean, do you think looking back, was he trying to send a message to you?
I don't think so. I don't know.
It's possible.
It's possible. Like at that time,
he thinks
you're already
like that for sure.
at that time you're already
supreme level competitor.
Yeah. You were a 2-time champ. You're a sophomore in college. This guy's like, you're always cognizant of those things. Like, yeah, this guy's coming. Like, he's a 2-time champ.
Absolutely.
He's coming. So I better let him know like what he's getting into.
Maybe I probably should have thought about that more. But I was just excited.
Yeah.
But he kind of put it on me that was my first real experience with like that next level of wrestling.
Man, nice. I know one other thing you wanted to comment on or talk about, discuss, was Yianni's Zain match, Dogu. We talked about yesterday. It was awesome. Yeah, I mean Yianni and then Yianni versus Musakaya was awesome as well. Yeah. So Matt and I, our take. So I'll give you our take, so we don't leave you blind. Our take is that if Zain would have won, public perception would be like, it's over, it's done with.
Yeah.
The fact that Yianni won makes everyone say like, match 2 at the trials or Final X was crap. Because I thought no matter what, the refereeing was terrible. The way they did the whole thing, I think there was a whole bunch of issues there. And it makes it feel like the public wants to see that wrestle-off continue to happen. I don't know if it's going to. Obviously, the public doesn't get a vote.
The public, they want. I mean, who doesn't love the drama? Like they're high-level wrestlers, and their matches are great.
Yeah.
Like, I think at the end of the day, the trial process did happen, and that's probably where it's going to stay.
Yeah.
I'm still really confused on what happened in the last match at Final X between them. Like,
what do you mean with the rules?
Well, yeah, with
Matt and I, we studied the UWW rules.
I'm still confused. But like, I was watching that match the other day, and I was like, I honestly thought that there was an exchange that they didn't award for Zain, like at the beginning.
At the beginning, yeah, right at the beginning.
That
should have been a 4.
No,
right?
no, I thought it was a 2.
No, it went 4-2-2, and it should have been 4-2. Yes,
right.
But I mean, that no one challenged that, so that's out of the question. So the last sequence is Zain's on a high crotch, and Yianni, Zain you kind of see him jump, but then Yianni takes him, instead of going this way, he takes him like this way, and they call it. So here's the deal: they call it 2-2. They put 2-2 on the board, and so Yanni's winning on the board 8-6 for the last little bit. And the rules,
not 45
seconds. 45, not a little bit.
40
seconds. And the rules say you need to challenge immediately. The rules all say if the referees don't agree, all 3 referees don't agree, which allegedly didn't happen, but we couldn't see it on camera, that then points are not allowed to go on the board if the referees can't agree on what the scoring.
Yeah, you're supposed to, if there's miscommunication or misjudging,
they got to bring it in.
They immediately stop the match and they come together and decide, but they didn't do that. They
put the score on the board.
Yeah.
So that's the score said 8-6 Yianni, and obviously my argument is, dude, if you think you're winning by 2, or if you think you're losing, you're going to wrestle 2 completely different ways.
Yeah. So I was thinking this to myself just about because I stayed up and watched the match live. I saw the adjustments that Zain made. I was like, he started doing that like punched up, like that snap double real quick, and I was like, that's something that's really easy to like recognize outside of the moment. So I was like, Yianni's definitely gonna know that's coming, and I'm like, I was thinking to myself like, is he gonna make the adjustment? Like, it's a pretty easy adjustment to like know that's coming. But when you don't know it's coming, I mean, that's why it works.
You should have watched the Bruce preview.
Right.
That was the one thing I said. I said that's exactly what Zain needs to do to win the match that Final X is. Zain did it one time at the U.S. Open and it worked. And I said that's what you got to get him with, that one right there. And then Zain went to it, and that was what he was scoring with at Final X. And Yianni made the adjustment, like you're saying, for the one after that.
God, he looked good. He looked good in that match. It was competitive, but it also he kind of like
controlled it.
He controlled it. Funny story. We do testing at the OTC, the national team guys, and we do this like hand grip thing that tests your strength on your like grip strength. And so
is it just a squeeze or is it a pull?
No, it's a squeeze.
Have you tried? We should have brought a watermelon. Have you tried squeezing a watermelon?
Listen,
I bet you would. You're pretty beefy.
we bought my fiance bought a watermelon the other day, and I was like,
and you were looking at
I
it.
saw Richie Lewis do it, and she didn't cut it up. I was like, listen, can you record me do this? And she's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. No, you
She was
can't.
pissing your river
Yeah,
watermelon.
she was like, no, you can't do that. But so we were doing the hand strength thing, and I go up there and I'm like, I think I'm strong, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty strong. And so I go up there, I get like 135 on both hands.
What's a good score?
I don't know.
That's a good score.
I don't know.
Okay, well-
But then Zain Retherford goes up there and like gets like 215 on his right hand. And I'm like, he whooped me. I was like, and I wrestled with him and like I was like, that makes sense. Like he's so strong here.
Yeah.
Ben, what's your grip?
I've
strength?
never done this machine.
I know your pulse strength.
Well, you
is
know
good,
the one
but what
thing I
about
was going
your-
to complain about that a lot of these people are doing on the watermelon videos, it's only because people they came to me with they had to tell me their truths, right? They couldn't lie about it.
Right.
A couple of my kids, they post videos of themselves smashing the watermelons, and then they don't tell you they're softening up for 20 minutes. They were squeezing it for 20 minutes to get it softer, and then they just put the one where they pop it on there.
Yeah.
You know, so they don't put like just the whole video. But I don't know what my squeeze would be, but yeah, Zain obviously. You know, I stole the watermelon squeeze from Zain. I saw Zain do it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
When did
Yes.
he do it? I've heard he's
It's
just
some summer,
ridiculously
you know.
strong.
It was.
Like,
I saw a video of him doing it. He squeezed one, and I said, "F this, I'm gonna squeeze two." And so I was like working out. I was passing the grocery store. I bought 2 watermelons, and I said, "Honey, flip on the camera." And you know, I did it, and that kind of went viral. And now, but it kind of went viral and then died. And then this year it came back again, and now everyone's like doing it this summer.
yeah, I
which is
think
weird.
once you jumped on with the UFC, that video resurfaced and everybody.
Well, I was mad, and I didn't realize the day of. I didn't realize this. I don't know if you guys realize this. They did it on SportsCenter. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Do you guys know who was in the video?
No.
You didn't realize who that was? So they put a clip of someone doing. You didn't see this.
I
Okay.
didn't see this.
They put a clip up of someone bringing the watermelon, and then the host tried it and he couldn't do it. And I watched it. I didn't recognize it was Kyle Connell, but he had to be like 245. Like he was so big.
You know what? I think
him.
I did see that video.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. His hair was a little.
Yeah,
So
his
where
hair's
was
really
this at?
long.
Where
It was
did you-
grown out.
where did you
Yeah.
do the video?
No, his was at I don't know, probably his apartment or something.
Huh.
Yeah, I think he's actually inside, which is dumb because you shouldn't have it inside because now the watermelon juice is everywhere.
Yeah.
But then I had someone else just out of the blue challenge me, this little host of this thing he does, a little podcast. And he said he just brought a watermelon and showed and said, squeeze it. And so I had to break it on camera. So that was another video that went out this summer. But then the other one was that Cyborg, the girl fighter. She won't
Yeah,
remember.
because she was
She
like, "There's
couldn't
no
break
way."
it. Yeah,
She's
she
like, "There's
couldn't
no way
break it.
he can do this."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So
I think it really does depend on the watermelon you get because some of them are harder than
that's
others.
what some people were saying. Now, I'm not a watermelon expert. Some people were saying you got to get like the ripe ones. They're a little softer. Like if they're pre-ripe, they won't
What is
break.
ripe? I think it's like when it's
Well, it's just like a
lighter on
banana.
bottom,
It's like
right?
a banana, you know, when it's like the greenish yellow or when it's like the yellowish brown. It's way
Yeah.
different.
I think my wife was talking about that. I
Well,
think
we should test them. We should
Yeah.
start testing this.
Okay.
And maybe we could do like
We
a
should have
watermelon.
we should have watermelons
with
here.
squeezing world champions. Actually, so we're gonna do. It's not totally off topic, but we're hanging out, whatever. I was thinking about doing. Max and I are gonna do this tournament next year. It's a new format. I don't want to tell you guys my format yet because we're gonna steal it. But anyways, I get so annoyed that everyone does kids national championships. Everything's effing national championships. So I was thinking I'm gonna call mine just to F with everyone the world championships. The world champ. This is the whatever. I don't know what the name it's gonna be. Something world championships. Just to kind of make light of the fact that everyone called everything the national championships. So mine's gonna be better, Matt, because it'll be a world championships.
You're such a troll.
It's so annoying, though, Matt. You tell me what they call. Do you know how many tournaments? Do you know how many? I mean, I would be tournaments that are youth are called national championship every single year.
There's like
I mean,
27 national titles.
No, it's got to be more than that. I mean,
More,
there's
yeah.
the one here that I get mad about. It's called like the Midwest Tour, and they do Hawkeye Nationals, Gopher Nationals, Badger Nationals. They do like a whole national tour of like 6 states.
But
Everyone's
it's an
called
easy
national.
hook. It's an easy hook. You
It
throw a
is, for
national
sure.
title out there, national championship. And
It makes me
people-
so
yeah.
mad. I can't stand it.
We used to have to go to Tulsa. That was like the
That was like the
That
one
was
for
the
youth.
one.
that was
yeah.
like
That
the
was the
one.
one.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah. That was the one for youth, I would say. And for high school, I would say, and like Super 32 doesn't really even call themselves national championships. But that would be like, for me, that's the toughest folk style tournament in the country, I think, bar none.
Really?
High school level? Absolutely.
I think I do agree.
Oh my gosh,
as
it's
far,
crazy
no,
now. You haven't went in a few years, man.
I haven't went, but I think they've changed the format. Like they go 6-minute matches now. I used to have a problem.
Yes, they do.
When they went 4-minute matches.
They do 5 minutes first day and 6 minutes second day.
But they used to do early on
Yeah.
4 minutes.
Preseason
like,
national does 1-1-1 on the backside. It's
and I'm
gross.
How are you really gonna get a true I put
I agree.
myself as a college coach at the time. I'm like, how can you really evaluate
Can't
kid on
gauge,
a 4-minute match?
Yeah.
You know, and then like you said, on some of the matches they went to 1.5. Like you can't even get started.
Yeah.
So, but now that they have, I agree. Like,
Yeah.
just
It's the best one. It's so tough. All right. We have a few minutes left. Isaiah's doing an autograph signing in 7 minutes. Okay, Isaiah, favorite Fargo memory?
I don't have many.
Come on, give us
we
one.
heard-
I
we
don't
heard
have
your-
many.
Does
we heard-
California stay in the
I
dorms?
heard your worst memory
I've
last
had
night.
What's the worst
several
memory?
bad
He didn't
memories
make weight.
in Fargo.
You didn't make weight?
No, so okay, I was
What?
I was a first year cadet. I was 8th grade, and it was my first 2-day weigh-in. and
Okay. Well, you made it the first day.
I did. I was in the semis the second day, and
You didn't make weight?
well, so
Oh my
so I
God.
was wrestling 112. Okay, well, I'm gonna make
Brutal.
a bunch of excuses here.
It's fine.
They had me running stairs to make weight.
Oh, it's
And my
terrible.
cla-
Whose idea was that?
California and USA wrestling used to be a little
Yeah,
running
disorganized.
stairs.
Running stairs.
I was running
That's like
stairs.
the worst thing ever.
I was running stairs in the dorm room to make weight, and like the second day to make weight, I just had nothing. That was my first year weigh-in,
Yeah.
and I just broke and drank a whole case of Mountain Dew.
A whole case?
I was done.
12 of them?
I was so done. My dad didn't talk to me for a week when I got home. He was so upset with me.
Running stairs to make weight sounds like the worst idea ever.
It was
Especially
awful.
out here, when it's like you
100
can't get
degrees,
away from the heat.
I mean, I'll tell you, listen, we'll talk about weight. Because I said a few kids that were kind of having a tough time making weight. They don't get it when they're young because they've done it before. But like the key is to do as little work as possible while sweat as much as possible. When I made weight in Vegas a week and a half ago, it was so hot there that I ran/walked in the parking garage. But out of 80 minutes, I only ran or walked for 27 minutes.
Yeah,
I was so hot, I was just sweating the rest of the time, doing nothing. You know,
you just keep.
I
your
lost 7
body-
pounds
yeah.
in 80 minutes.
You know, it'd be a great idea for a show would be actually just to bring wrestlers on and then have them tell you their like worst weight cutting stories, because I've heard some doozies.
Because we all had to go through it. We've all gone through a
What's
time
my
like,
worst one
and you look
ever?
back and like,
I'm
yeah.
trying to think of my worst one ever.
did you ever miss weight?
The only time I ever missed weight was after my freshman year. I wrestled 119. I ballooned up after, and there was a tournament where the weight classes were 139 or 125. And so I said, okay, I weigh like 138. I'll go 125. And I got down to like 130, like probably 4 days before, 5 days before. And I said, dude, I'm just gonna go up. This is ridiculous. So that would be, I never missed weight where I was actually like trying. You know what? I'll tell you the worst one. Dubai. When I made weight in Dubai for my fight, so I won the belt at one championships. It was I couldn't lose the last pound. I don't know if you ever had that happen. Where like I was cruising, like I did 4 pounds in 45 minutes, and then the last one just would not come off. And I did the check scale. I'm like 0.1 kilo over, and so then I got to walk to the venue. So it's not far. I walk over there, hopefully it'll be lighter. And then now on this one, I'm effing 0.2 kilos over. I'm like, damn, that's a half a pound. So all I had, it was so hot. It's Dubai. This is like we're like 114 degrees. I threw just plastics on, no underwear, nothing. Plastics on and shoes. And I'm like, I could barely run. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to move. I'm going to move. Because in one championship rules, you lose 10% of your purse if you don't make weight at the time. You know, it says if it's 11 a.m., it's 11 a.m. If you don't make weight at 11 a.m., you lose 10%. I'm like, I got like 17 minutes. I'm just going to move as much as I can. And I was on the dot.
Oh,
That was terrible.
so much stress though.
I
Like,
actually-
am I gonna
seriously.
make weight?
I'm going to lose, 5 figures.
I think
fucking
we
make weight.
talked about this. The one time that I missed weight, the only time
You missed weight?
I was in the finals of
Everyone's
the
missed weight
junior,
once.
I was in the finals of the junior world trials.
And you missed weight?
And I missed
oh,
weight.
man.
So at the time, now, and my dad still gives me crap to this day. It's like if I was there, this is the only tournament he ever missed that I competed in. He's like, to this day, it's like if I was there, you would have made weight. But they changed the rules. It was
What do
supposed
you
to be it was supposed to be a 1-day tournament, and then it was combined with the Olympic trials at the time, the junior world trials.
What year? So
It was-
88,
yeah.
92?
Yeah, and so midway through the day, they were like, "We're wrestling the finals tomorrow, so you got to make weight again." And I had sucked down to a lower weight class because I told my dad.
But they didn't tell you that you did make weight twice till
no,
you showed up?
They didn't till we showed up.
Till you showed up.
Midway through, after the first session, they announced.
Stop.
No,
man,
they did.
Stop. They can't do
Bias.
that.
They did.
They can't
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
And
think it's bad now. That
and
was that
right.
bad.
And of all things, I missed it by a tenth of a pound.
Matt, how
They
can they
didn't give
tell
it-
you after the first session that you have to make weight again?
They just
They
did
can't
it.
tell you that.
They did.
Who's in charge of this? Let's go get them. I'm
They're-
upset right
they're-
now. It's 30
I
years
know,
later.
I know. Yeah. But one
Dude.
tenth of a pound, you would think that they would give it to me.
You couldn't Google that either. You weren't like on the internet like, wait, what's the
Yeah.
regulations for this?
Uh-huh. Wow.
But
Okay. Well, let's Isaiah, you got 3 minutes. So you guys send some autographs. We have Matt and I are going to review the cadets and junior next week. Junior finals start in 2 hours. There's also the Bo Nickel Woodley wrestle off. So
Yep.
a lot going on here in Fargo. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry
Come
I
over.
was late.
yeah, but come over to the RUDIS booth right now. Isaiah's going to
Right
be
now.
signing from 11 to 12 here right across the street from the Fargo Dome. We're behind Buffalo Wild Wings and right beside Applebee's. So come on over, meet Isaiah, get a free autograph and poster.
There we go.
Isaiah,
Do it.
thanks so much for
Thank you
being on
guys.
this.
Appreciate it.
Well, hold on, I take a picture. All right, we got in the stream. Now we'll take a picture.